Welcome, fellow fans of Clash Royale. Thank you so much for stopping by, as today we are discussing how to defeat the Three Musketeers. Now, of course, when this card first came out, it was pretty much unused. At 10 elixir, it was just too expensive and it never made sense to deploy this on the battlefield, leaving you dry every single time. But it's been dropped to 9, and of course with the double elixir late and of course the use of elixir collectors, there are some opportunities where opponents are dropping those 3 ladies on us, and if they can do it when you're not expecting it or not ready, you can definitely be in a world of hurt, as they will melt through a tower or any other units in just a matter of seconds. Now, in most battles, I'm used to seeing the Three Musketeers being dropped right near the end, when the opponent is going to try their best to surprise you. Maybe you've lost track of how many cards they've deployed, but right here, my opponent is going to use them early in behind the giant skeleton. I thought my Pekka was going to be enough. I went ahead and started a Prince down the left-hand lane, but that Pekka is in big trouble as the Three Musketeers are moving in, but a freeze spell, a clutch freeze spell, and minions right here. So the Three Musketeers targeting the Pekka, they finish it off, but the minions, again, my favorite card, they wipe out those Three Musketeers, and in the meantime, my Prince just about took down that left-hand tower because my opponent had spent so much elixir on that push on the right-hand side. So now I know that the Three Musketeers are in play, so obviously I'm going to be very careful about what I use. Now, thank you again for waking up the king early. We talked about that before. My king is now active because of the errant arrows trying to get the princess. Also woke up the king, so his cannon is out. Now again, saving up, I don't have a fireball or a lightning spell, which are probably the ideal cards for dealing with the Three Musketeers, but I do have, again, the freeze spell and the Minion Horde, so I'm going to try to be very careful about how often I use the freeze spell and the Minion Horde, because those are going to be the cards I need to try to hold back just in case he drops those Three Musketeers on me again. So effective use of the Three Musketeers card comes in late because your opponent has been studying your deck, and obviously they know by this point what you have and what you don't have. They likely know if you have a fireball, if you have a lightning spell, and that is when they're going to send those Three Musketeers in when you don't have one of those available. Now, this is a huge push on the left-hand side, but once again, I've got the freeze spell and the Minion Horde, and it's a fantastic combination for taking down tight packs of units like this. The Three Musketeers never even a factor, and in fact, my minions continue almost all the way to the tower. There, they finish off the cannon, and 9 elixir down the drain. They didn't really have any effect on me other than wiping out that elixir collector I had. I replace it, and we are down into the last 15 seconds of this battle. His left tower badly damaged. I'm going to drop my Pekka right in front, and this time I've got the Prince in behind the Pekka. Prince pushing the Pekka. They're both going to go and face off after that giant skeleton. The arrows, I don't know what I was thinking there with the arrows. Not the greatest move. We're trying to get to the tower. There they go. The cannon at the last second, but look who's going to do it once again. The princess, clutch princess, wipes out the tower. The Three Musketeers don't get there, and that little fragile princess, faced by 3 fearsome musketeers, wins the battle for me, 1 crown to 0. And speaking of fear, here's a recent battle between myself and Prince Fear from In the Light, level 12. And again, a similar deck. You can see Elixir Collector, Giant Skeleton, Minion Horde, Three Musketeers, and a Goblin Barrel. So a little bit different, bit of a change up. Also, I am running the Hog Cycle deck here, going to try to get through to the tower as best as possible, using the Hog and the Zap spell. We get in right away early in the battle, first 30 seconds, and we're going to chop just about half of that tower down as the Minion Horde moves in. The fireball used on the Minion Horde leaves me with only goblins to try to counter that Goblin Barrel, but luckily right here, they are going to make it to the princess and get her out of the way. Now again, we have not seen the Three Musketeers yet in this battle, so Prince Fear holding on and probably waiting until the surprise factor is higher late in the battle, and obviously when he is collecting elixir more quickly. So he's got 2 collectors down, as do I. I'm going to again with the Hog Zap Assault, but this time he's got the Inferno Tower. So we're not going to get to the tower this time. We do get the Inferno Tower down and some damage on that Elixir Collector. And again, he is going with a Goblin Barrel. And if you look at his deck, you'll see he's had the Giant Skeleton and the Three Musketeers up the entire battle. He's saving both of those cards, and I definitely know something is missing from this equation. I don't know at this point if it's a Golem, a Pekka, a Giant Skeleton, as here he is, he's thinking about it. He clicks on both of them, but I go moving in again with the hog run, trying to get to that tower. He is going to use the elixir collector, the minions, to distract me. And again, we are now just about down to that final minute, and I really think this is what he's been waiting for. He wants to get an elixir collector or two up, and he wants to be in double elixir before he drops the giant skeleton or the Three Musketeers. Here we go. 5 seconds now until double elixir, and you know he's thinking about it. Here it comes from the back of the battlefield, and that's going to let me get the hog in. He has to use the goblin barrel to try to stop the hog, and I get a lot of hit points off that tower, but here comes the Three Musketeers. You know he's waiting for it. As the giant skeleton crosses the river, those three ladies will come in from behind. I use the fireball, not knowing that I was about to need that fireball critically. Here they come. Somehow I managed to get one down with the Minion Horde. And here is the beauty of my hog speed cycle deck. I've got all the way back around to the fireball. I'm able to drop it, finish off those Three Musketeers, and now just taking damage from the remaining minions. So I've got my minions again. He's got his goblin barrel coming in, and that could be the end of my tower, but the zap spell this time saves it. And yes, my favorite card, the Minion Horde, grabs his right-hand tower. It is not going to be enough time for him to come back. 10 seconds remaining. I've got cannons. I've got all sorts of stuff up protecting that tower. He doesn't have direct damage that's going to get it down in time. He didn't have the Goblin Barrel ready. Time runs out. Goblin Barrel in the air. And I've defeated a level 12 player with the Three Musketeers. So again, Lightning, Fireball, obviously the perfect cards for the Three Musketeers, but if you don't know they're coming until late in the match, you can be in a world of hurt, especially if your opponent waits until you've used those cards. So again, we're looking at another hog spin cycle deck that I'm using. Again, I've got the Fireball and the Zap spell, and once again, my opponent is going to use those Three Musketeers late in the battle. You can see it looks like he's got kind of a cycle deck of his own. Princess, Minion Horde, Elixir Collector, Free Spell, but there it is. So he's got the Pekka. So we often see this in these decks with the Three Musketeers, a big O tank card that is going to sit in front of those Three Musketeers and protect them and let them get to the tower. And again, just a couple of shots from that group and your tower is history. Now this opponent already has me a little bit off my game, off my cycle, or so to speak, with this deck because I don't want to put that cannon out there in front like that, leave it vulnerable. I'd rather try to use it back defensively when I'm facing something like a Pekka or a Hog Rider, keep it back closer to the towers. So we know that cannon is going to be gone soon. We're going to try to go ahead and rush in on the right-hand side. This was a little bit risky just because I knew that Pekka was approaching, but I wanted to damage the Elixir Collector, make sure he didn't have too much going on as far as bonus Elixir as the Pekka approached. The Skeletons did a great job of slowing him down, her down I should say, the Goblins as well, until the Princess gets involved once again. And like I just talked about, I've cycled all the way back around to the cannon again. Fireball, an expensive way to take down the Princess, but I had to get her down so that my little guys, like the Skeletons, could survive. Sure enough, the Pekka is down, no harm done, and again, my Hog Rider rushing the right-hand tower, giving me that opportunity to get damage done. With the Zap spell, we get the tower down. Just that short stun that the Zap provides was enough time to stop that Minion Horde, and now, check it out, they will all get one-shotted by this tower. That is key right there. No need to defend against the Minion Horde. No more elixir spent other than one Zap spell, and now I can focus on this approaching Pekka, and again, I've got the tower ready. Here come the Three Musketeers, but look what I have, a Fireball. So sorry, Three Musketeers, that's gotta hurt right there. They are history. Those Three Musketeers are out of here. One quick Fireball and 9 elixir has gone down the drain, and this player, well, obviously, with a tower down, 30 seconds remaining in this battle, I'm starting to drop buildings all over the place. The Troll Elixir Collector out on the far right-hand side of the battlefield. That's going to distract anybody. A couple of cannons down as well. And really, there's no chance that he's going to be able to get to my tower with over 2,000 hit points on it in the last 30 seconds of this battle. Another cannon goes down. Another Elixir Collector just for insurance. The Pekka, it's not even going to get here in 15 seconds. She is way back in the pack. I give her a zap for good measure. Time is going to run down, and again, the Three Musketeers defeated, this time by a very conveniently available Fireball spell that maybe had the opponent watched until I used it and then dropped the Three Musketeers, it would have ended differently. So let me know what you guys think about the Three Musketeers. Do you use it? What do you like to defend against it? Thank you guys, as always, for sticking around all the way to the end of this episode. Please subscribe for daily Clash of Clans and Clash Royale content. Like if you like the video. Check out my other videos, and I hope to see every last one of you back here again tomorrow. for more full attacks.
Galadon, forgive the Three Musketeers. Tell Super Soul to make a 3 vanity cries. I like it.